guys. Welcome to This Ain't a Scene. It's a goddamn emergency episode. I'm Kim. I'm apparently who they modeled the clown after for the Bamboozle logo.
God, that's so good. I'm bamboozled in spirit, but not my wallet. I'm Jen.
Yes, and I'm very happy that our wallets were not bamboozled this year.
We got some, again, this is an emergency episode because a festival that we both love dearly has lived up to its namesake.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah. Quite literally. The Bamboozle Festival is canceled, Kim. I mean, I don't have to tell you that. You knew this. I think I dropped the news on you. Was I the person?
Yeah, you were. Funny, because
I forgot.
We were on a call. I was on my lunch break at work, and I was literally just saying minutes before this post even happened, I was like, oh, Say Anything should just come to Adjacent Fest instead of Bamboozle. And we hung up. Jenny calls me 2 minutes later, and we're just freaking out on the phone about Bamboozle being canceled. Yeah, wild times. I was in shock, personally, and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the concert, it was this week. They canceled it a week before. And I think that because I didn't realize I thought it was like the week either before or after Jason. I didn't know. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, that was probably a good call. And not realizing, this thing was half baked. It wasn't even half baked. It was dough. It was doughy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was pretty messed up of them to just cancel a festival like that a week before. Like, a big festival that a lot of people paid over $400 for. Some people even paying, for whatever reason, $2,000 for VIP.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's pretty messed up. And then, everyone else involved besides the fans, but we'll definitely dive into that.
We're definitely going to dive into all of that. We got the full scoop. But yeah, like you said, Kim, like, people are traveling. We got flights, you got hotel bookings. Like, it's just, I really feel for anyone who is going through it with this festival. We're gonna hit on some other points, dive into the actual news, but I don't know. I guess let's just dive into the news. I'm just still I'm not laughing, but it's a little funny.
I honestly feel so bad for, obviously the people that bought tickets, but, the vendors and the bands, it's just...
they were excited to play, and, I mean, me and Kim had our feelings about the lineup. I mean, when Bam Margera has a better lineup in his TikTok shout-out list.
The fucking Dern brothers, the whole Dern's family, Naveed the Shaman, any Persian, any Armenian, and fucking Danny Way, Yellow Wolf, MGK, Tokyo Hotel, Billy, Tom, and Lamar Odin. I just heard your message. Yes, I do want your help.
Then Bamboozled it. The festival is doomed from the start, but let's talk about where we are, how we got here, and where this is leaving us, and the legacy that is Bamboozle.
So at the beginning of ticket sales, we had some early bird pre-sales, as festivals usually do. People were pretty bummed out and upset about how pricey the tickets were.
I know I was.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, this is a lot of fucking money, but I had hope. I did. I was like, they're gonna announce some really dope acts for a festival that hasn't been around for, I want to say, about 10 years or so. Yeah, so they were just like, oh, buy the tickets sooner because the ticket prices will keep going up as the bigger names get announced. And apparently this lineup was supposed to be quote unquote stacked.
Yep.
We see how that went. So
to touch on what Kim talked about, and what we talked about earlier, festival was slated for this week, May 5th to the 7th. Yeah, this was our first time back in 10 years. This is a festival that me and Kim have both gone to, and...
Oh, no, I never been to Bamboozle.
You have never been to
Yeah, we discussed this, technically our last episode, but it might be posted right after this one. I've never been to Bamboozle. I, pretty much strictly stuck to Warped Tour as, my go-to festival, every year, or most years. I didn't go every single year, obviously, but Bamboozle I never really got a chance to go to, and, Jersey was just kind of, out of my reach.
It's true. I didn't know that I was the queen, I was...
You're the clown.
I'm the clown. I am the clown. Wow. Well, back to the news there. But yeah, so I take that back, and I've had some of the best show memories there. It's still I would say I was a Bamboozle kid, not necessarily a Warped Tour kid, even though I've been to Warped Tour like maybe 2 or 3 times, probably 2 times. Bamboozle was my summer childhood. It was my festival growing up. The cancellations happened after week and weeks of fans questioning Bamboozle, and there was a lot of fans that were upset with the lineup for something that's been brewing for about 10 years, but also the last 3 years. The organizer, Johnny D, he's been teasing things. He's been saying this is going to be our big comeback. And, again, we had a pandemic. We are still going through this pandemic, make no mistake. But, we just expected more from the festival. He kept saying that the lineup was going to be stacked. We got word through their Instagram account on Friday that Bamboozle had failed to come into fruition. The weekend was $400, which was very steep for anyone who's been to Bamboozle before. But we also acknowledge that things have changed in the music festival scene. $400 is not unheard of for festivals.
Right. Even adjacent. I know $350, but with tax and fees, it came out to pretty much a 400 and something. I don't know, $400, let's just say. It's not unheard of, but I think from what the lineup was, we didn't have any big contenders, any big acts.
And that's what it was, because we kept waiting to see what would actually make this worth $400. And don't get me wrong, there were some acts on the lineup that I would have liked to see and things like that, but nothing ever hit the, this is worth $400. I think the thing that is upsetting fans at this moment, because again, we were already upset with the lineup, but Bamboozle put the statement out on their Instagram account, and they're using sneaky legal terms, and by that I mean they're saying they are not issuing refunds at this time. You have to go and get yourselves. So nothing is being automatic or automated for anyone who's bought the tickets, making this now the fans' problem, which is something that just hurts me as someone who, I'm a diehard. I was a diehard for this festival, and this is leaving a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm not even involved at this point.
I know. They're requested at point of purchase, and, that means you have to go out of your way to request your refund from wherever you bought your ticket from, which is, BS.
This should not be on the fans, but it's now the fans' problem. I looked through the Reddit threads on Bamboozle, and me and Kim have been on a Instagram account called Scamboozle, which we love. But again, it's sad that these things even have to exist. But someone on Reddit posted, this is going to be a lawsuit. The wording of refund is really sketchy. Request at point of purchase, like Kim mentioned. Yeah, people are nervous if they're going to get their money back. People are suggesting that you go directly to your credit card company if, you're having issues with Bamboozle themselves. And yeah, I'll let Kim take it from here.
Yeah, so with the Instagram account Scamboozle, this is run by someone who is also a big fan of Bamboozle, mind you. I don't think, they're here to just, seriously, bash Bamboozle because they hate Bamboozle. No, I think this is a fellow fan, someone who is
kinda
interested. Yeah, exactly. They just are keeping it real and just posting the shadiness because there has been some pretty shady stuff. I did see a comment by someone online, oh, this is giving Firefest. I think that's kind of dragging it because I think, Bamboozle is well established, as we all know. So I personally didn't think any of this was going to happen.
Yeah, I totally thought it was just going to be a shitty weekend, but,
Yeah, I just didn't think it would be, maybe less people than we expected to be at the festival or something, but but
it was still going to go on.
Right.
Yeah.
This is wild. The Instagram page Scamboozle and other people on Reddit as well, and just fans online are kind of bringing the shadiness to light. Apparently been some cases of Johnny D threatening or doxing a fan who criticizing the festival lineup, and some people did mention the Johnny D, the founder's aggressive behavior online. I haven't heard it yet, but this apparent podcast that either it's gone now apparently, and even the people that did hear it, seems like chunks of the audio was missing. Maybe it was edited out on purpose. On purpose. He was promoting like upgrade tickets and merch and like passes, I guess apparently from fans who show up at this other fans' doorstep to be part of an anti-bullying fundraiser by going to this guy's house and just showing up. And there was a screenshot of emails that he kind of mentioned, like, oh, maybe we'll have a street party in front of your home address. And the person that was being pretty much harassed by Johnny D reported this to their local police department and cyber police in Jersey. But Johnny D was kind of like, oh, I was just joking, and, you know, of course, I don't think anything really came out of it.
It was just a prank, bro.
Yeah, just a prank, bro. Like, you know, we're not gonna, even though I threatened to post your address online, but, yeah.
Yeah, for a guy that has called fans who had any critiques, and again, like, yeah, I'm sure it's not a good feeling to say, like, to read a bunch of comments that are like, yo, this lineup is ass, and blah, blah, blah. But he was calling fans some, you know, untasteful words like jackass, dork, and effing clowns. You know, I am the biggest bozo in the group, so clown recognize the clown.
Right.
Clown recognize the clown. That is, yes. So as, you know, I'm hearing this, I'm not surprised by Johnny's behavior. I've heard he's not a great guy to begin with, but, like, you know, what I am trying to say is the doxing, it's like, for someone who wanted to step into the future of the music festival scene, and he was so against calling it emo and all this other stuff, the fact that he's acting like a troll on Xbox Live in the early 2000s is just really funny to me. 2010s, whatever. Because, yeah, again, he's just acting like douchebag from that era right now. Just, yeah.
And this was my first reaction to hearing this announcement. I was like, oh, they didn't sell enough tickets. Obviously, like, that wasn't the complete, like,
I would have
truth.
seen that too. Like, yeah.
I was like, that's why they canceled. But, I mean, he did try to suggest that it was close to 50,000 tickets that they sold. But last month, he admitted that that they only sold 6,000 tickets.
Which, again, is fucking nuts. Yeah, it's like, how did you think you were going to get that you're that's not even doubling it at this point, is, you know, it's like, that's insane. But yeah, as Kim said, that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point. That wasn't the breaking point. The breaking point ended up being that on Friday, Atlantic City officials issued a statement saying that they never got the permits for the event, which usually, you know, you do months before, and there's something icky here where it's like, how, like, it's not his first festival.
Right. Like, this is a well-established name. Like, they know the drill. Like, this is not his first rodeo. He knew this was something that needed to be done.
Yeah, so it's just like, so what is actually happening here? Like, is Scamboozle exactly what we should be calling it right now? I kind of feel that way. Yeah, because again, they didn't have the paperwork for insurance certificates, emergency evacuations, which, you know, and medical plans. Like, what? You need all of that. Like, yeah, again, it's not their first rodeo. It's disheartening, and it's like, what is going on behind the scenes? I am dying to know more, but, you know, again, the organizers failed to meet the city's April 27th deadline to submit the documents, and they tried following up with Johnny D, organizers, you know, all of them, and they were notified, and because no one got that sorted, the event is canceled. And again, it's leading this whole, how it's phrased in the Bamboozle, you know, post, how ticket refunds will be issued by whoever, you know, the point of purchase or something like that. I didn't quote that right. But yeah, the fact that it's not automatic means, it shows to me that this might be a fight, and I really hope the fans come out on top. I really hope vendors that have been screwed over get their money.
One vendor in particular, they were a cannabis vendor who had paid over $10,000 for a booth, and
which is fucking insane.
Yeah, it might, you know, that's $10,000 for a booth at Bamboozle, but struggling to get a hold of anybody to arrange any kind of refund. And this is one small like CBD store in North Carolina, and as you can probably imagine, $10,000 is kind of a big deal for a very small business like that. So I'm sure they'll eventually get that money back. I think within what time frame, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but either between just people standing by, small businesses, and just being like, hey, like, what the hell, like, give these people back their money.
Yeah. But still, that's like, we also have seen the flip side of things. Like, sometimes people don't. So it's like, I really do hope this small business, and maybe when we put this episode out, we'll link to it, because we're both fans of the CBD and the marijuana. So, but yeah, no, and it's also just the fact that this festival was gonna have a smaller turnout too. So a lot of these vendors might have been screwed no matter what the situation was, and that's sad. Like, like maybe if they the festival was going on still, they would have maybe broke even, or but yeah, like $10,000 and only 6,000 fans, or what? How many people? I don't even know.
Yeah, apparently 6,000 tickets. Yeah, have been sold at that point, or at this point.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like you can't get $10,000 from 6,000 people, but again, understand.
It's gonna be very hard.
It's gonna at most this is now a publicity thing for you, and people will now have your contact information and follow you on Instagram. That's how I see it. So yeah, Johnny D was really setting up everyone for failure. And again, we've talked about, and we've posted, and we've been keeping up with the news on in case you missed it, on our Instagram and Twitter account. But bands were pulling out too, so I'm really, it seemed like weekly there was someone, or daily at some points, but like someone else was always pulling out, and we never got that big opener that made us say,
like, oh, this could save Bamboozle, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So, so Johnny D, just to give everyone just kind of a historical lesson of Bamboozle, festival was started in 2002, and it had huge acts, and by huge, no, I mean huge.
Yeah, they're big.
We had 50 Cent. We had Foo Fighters one year. We had Bon Jovi. We had Snoop Dogg. And, Mike Hem and Fall Out Boy. I was there for the Fall Out Boy year. That was incredible. And, even, acts that may have, been smaller, but now we regard as legendary, like Mac Miller, Drake played there, Kid Cudi was great, Bloodhound Gang is still one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. At its peak, it was drawing over 100,000 fans, over a single weekend. That's crazy. But it's true. It was and it was such a good community of people. Again, I wish I experienced Warped Tour the way I experienced Bamboozle, because I would say what you experienced, Kim, at Warped Tour is what I felt at Bamboozle, and that's why it's so heartbreaking to me that this is going down like this. Following alleged disputes between Johnny D and all the other partners at the event, Live Nation, House of Blues, the festival went dormant in 2012. Again, it was supposed to return in 2020. Of course, we had the pandemic, so they really had 3 years to try to make this the best festival ever. And I can't stress it enough. How bad could things have gotten behind the scenes that it just... Again, a week before before we were all not we, but people were supposed to gather, it's dead. It's so dead.
Yeah, no, it's a shame, because not this lineup, but this festival has been just such a legendary moment, in music history, and to see it come crashing down like this, it's just honestly just really sad. And I was really hoping for good things for this festival. I'm sure we all were. None of us wished bad things on Bamboozle. So
again, we both thought it was just going to be a lackluster lineup weekend for us, but we were sure that.
Right, and I'm maybe next year will be better. I don't think there's going to be a next year after this.
I don't know, man.
On that note, we have, the bands that were in the festival. I'm not going to say the headlining acts, probably, but maybe some of the smaller acts will be doing something to make up for the fans for maybe that weekend. So we have the break contest, where pretty much went through a competition to be able to play Bamboozle.
I remember the break contest coming to the Chance all the time. It was a big deal.
But I think the Landis, which is upstairs from the Casey Rays, this is in New Jersey, they're going to be giving them June 3rd and June 4th to play. And any interested sponsors and vendors could also email them too and show up. Gives them their space to like actually, do what they wanted to do, not in the same environment, unfortunately, but, it gives them a chance to at least play their music, and even for vendors and sponsors to come through and promote their stuff as well. So other than that, I haven't seen many other bands say that they're playing shows, but Seosin has announced not even 24 hours ago that they're doing 2 pretty much surprise shows.
Which is dope.
May 6th. Yeah. Oh, I wish I was fucking going. Mm-hmm. May 6th, they're going to be in New York. And then May 8th, they're going to be in Philly. So, not New Jersey, but in the, tri-state area. They're going to be around if you guys still want to see them. I'm very tempted to go. Just because they were honestly one of the only reasons I wanted to even consider Bamboozle.
Yeah, for sure. Because they were doing their whole anniversary.
Yeah, they're doing a 20-year
right?
anniversary. Yeah,
it's 20 years of Seosin. That's crazy,
yeah,
but
it's
beautiful.
Wild. And Anthony Green, the love of my life.
Oh yeah,
so
Kim, residential Anthony Green stan. Anthony Green, come on the podcast,
yes,
please. We want to talk to you. Just want to talk to you for a second.
Yeah, let's chat.
Just a little talky talk. Just to quickly add, when me and Kim decided we were not going to Bamboozle, I really did tune out of the news there. I was up to date with the bands that were dropping out, but I didn't realize that Johnny was really grasping at straws to get anyone interested in this festival. There was supposed to be a job fair at Bamboozle, which is fucking insane to me. It's awesome, but it also turns out it was all fucking lie. So Scamboozle, again, shout out to that account, posted that he or some other fans had called the bar that it was supposed to be taking place, it was supposed to be Bamboozle affiliated. Turns out the bar had no idea about it. At least according to Scamboozle and what I'm seeing on their social. And, there was a podcast that never came to fruition about the festival. Again, there's just a lot of empty promises. There was supposed to be, not to mention a bunch of secret acts that never, the spaces just disappeared. There was never hey, this is what's happening. The festival was kind of treating us like idiots, I guess. And again, I will not add me and Kim to that because we weren't paying attention to begin with. But, again, I feel for anyone because I understand the nostalgic value of this festival. I held out of a adjacent festival because I wanted to go to Bamboozle. And then also I have experienced some of Bamboozle Johnny D rage. And by that, I mean, he didn't really come at me. He just deleted my comment. We mentioned that in one of our other episodes, but he fully deleted, hey, we'll see you next year. We're going to adjacent this year. Again, a little petty of us. Whatever. Take it on the chin.
A legacy that's kind of, hopefully, it's pretty much, that's it for Bamboozle, I think, and it's going to be hard for people to want to
trust it again.
Yeah, and just buy tickets and stuff, and maybe somebody else can take over Bamboozle, but
I hope so. And it'd be really cool to see I don't know what the ideal situation is for any of I feel the same way about Warped Tour. We're not going to keep this too long. Maybe this is a subject for our next pod or something, just talking about how festivals can come back after being terrible or poorly managed, things like that. I don't know what the ideal outcome is, but I do hope someone kind of either takes it over and it can be a name that people are excited for again, because this is just so disappointing to me as someone, again, I had great memories. I said summer, they were spring festivals. They kind of kicked off the festival season after Coachella, I guess. But they were big deals to me, my teen years. My parents felt safe enough for me to just wander around Jersey. I think it's a good time, and again, it's just disappointing. So do better. Just do better. And we'll keep you up to date if there's any other news. Because, yeah, Kim, do you have anything else you would like to add? Or I think this is kind of it. We're keeping it short.
You know, I already mentioned my disappointment in, you know, this legacy just kind of coming to, you know, the way it is right now. And I'm just hoping there's some kind of something they can do right by the fans. But, like, so far, it doesn't seem like they really give a shit. So I don't really, you know what else to think about this. It's disappointing.
And again, maybe this is also, like, we've been doing mini episodes about, like, people of the scene, so maybe this is like a future deep dive for us about Johnny D, because I'm very curious, because I've heard he is not a good person. I just kind of forgot because it's been X amount of years since I even thought about Bamboozle. But yeah, the fact that he's acting like a literal child, and doxing people and, you know, name calling, all the things, like, you were an organizer for like a big festival, grow up. So, you know, again, we hope that people do better, you know, and maybe some person of color will take over the festival and it'll be just as great as it used to be. I would really be down for that, but that's just my wish, and this is the reality. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you like this mini emergency episode, because we're going to try to get it out super fast. So
hopefully we won't have any more emergency episodes in regards to bad things. But yeah,
if we do, let us know. Let us know if you like these mini quickies. Okay. I'm dead. Well,
until next time.
Until another festival blows up into our face, or Bam Margera goes missing again. We'll carry on.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.